I'm your host, Cecilia Casprom. Today's episode is another solo spoken word episode. In fact, side note, it's the last one like this before our first interview episode, which I am so excited about and looking forward to, and I cannot wait to share with you. That one's coming next. But anyway, for this episode, I'm wondering, have you ever thought that fundraising feels bad? Have you ever thought about running far, far away from it and never doing it again? Have you felt like fundraising just isn't for you? Have you felt like only special people can do it? Do you feel icky about fundraising? If any of these are true for you, then this episode is for you. Settle in, get a nice cup of tea, and get ready to find out how fundraising could be way different and way more like something that you actually want to do. Welcome to the For the Love of Humanity podcast, a place for those who'd like to see philanthropy be less of the industry it has become and return to its roots, love of humanity. This place is beautiful and hopeful, and it's nothing without you. Community is the way. Community has always been the way, and philanthropy has lost its way as it's developed over the years. We're recentering community at For the Love of Humanity, and community is what we seek in everything we do. Friends, to love and care for our fellow human beings is one of the most human things we can do. Let's get back to the roots of what it means to be human. Let's return to true philanthropy together. In my more than a decade and a half of professional fundraising, I've lost count of the number of people who have told me that fundraising feels yucky to them. I've heard many different reasons why. I'm including some examples of these various perspectives I've heard here and see if any of them resonate with you. Here's one. You think of it as a necessary evil. And here's how this one usually sounds. There is so much worthy and important work to be done via nonprofits. Unfortunately, the only way we can fund the work is through fundraising. We don't really want to waste our time on it or muddy our hands with it, especially when we could be helping people instead. But we gotta. You know what? Let's hire somebody to do it for us. Then we don't really need to think about it or dirty our hands. We'll be sure to set really aggressive goals for them because we've got so much important work to do. And of course, we'll hold them accountable to meeting those goals. But thank goodness we don't have to worry about doing that really loathsome kind of work ourselves anymore. Here's another one. You feel like you're taking something from somebody. And here's what that one tends to sound like. I don't like asking people for money. I don't like begging. This is people's hard-earned cash, and they deserve to do whatever they want with it. Who am I to ask them for it? Who am I to take it from them? I mean, sure, we're doing good things with it, but I don't want to have to be the one to take it from them. Here's another one. You don't like talking about money. And here's what that might sound like. Money makes me really uncomfortable. My parents were always fighting about it. or I grew up low income and there was never enough of it. And sometimes we really suffered because of it. Or we were really well off and the other kids called me a princess and I hated that. Or I've never wanted to earn much of it personally because it seems so evil. So many different versions of this, right? There are so many reasons. I'm really uncomfortable around money and I don't like talking about it at all. Here's another one. You feel like nonprofit program work is far more noble. And this might sound like these types of phrases. Feeding people is what I'm really here for. Working with young people is the most important thing. We're ultimately focused on housing those who are homeless. Really, we're all about helping people, so we really want to support and fund that work. We don't want to support anything like buying your desk chairs or software, or even healthcare for your employees or snacks for meetings. And we especially think you should have the lowest of low expenses for something like fundraising. Spending more on fundraising rather than helping people? Oh, the shame. And here's another one. You think it's about money. So here's what that one might sound like in practice. I've raised more than $30 million in my career. How big is your org? Oh, our budget is 500,000. So I ran the wealth screening report and their net worth is 5 million. That means we most definitely need to put them into your major donor portfolio. You've had 2 meetings with them already. That means it's time for an ask. You really can't meet with them again without asking them for money. Donor lifetime value. We definitely need to hold a VIP reception before the event for all our major donors and sponsors who gave the most. Mr. Local Millionaire wants to come by for a tour? Clear the executive director's schedule. Let's see if we can get the board chair here too. Listen, friends, there are legit problems with the inherent dynamics of fundraising. The thing about fundraising and fundraisers is that you're situated smack dab in the nexus of some of the most gnarly dynamics in our human societies. We're talking race and racism. We're talking gender and sexism. We're talking wealth inequity. We're talking power imbalances, the oppressiveness of a dominant white culture, the ills of capitalism, coloniality, and more. There are legit problems with these dynamics, and it can be very uncomfortable and or discombobulating and or dangerous to be right in the middle of them. Through experience in the field, fundraisers learn this, and it makes the work even harder than it needs to be. So that's kind of laying out the problems and how people are seeing fundraising, their vision of it, or even just what they think it can be, the ultimate purpose of fundraising that they can see. But I want so much more for fundraising, and I feel like it can be so much more. I really do. I think that it could be so much better, so much more meaningful. If you would like to engage in this conversation with the For the Love of Humanity podcast community, you can leave a message by texting or calling 1-612-440-4819. Keep your message as concise as you can, especially if you'd like it shared on the air. And be sure to indicate in your message whether you're cool with us airing it publicly with your first name. Otherwise, we can air it anonymously too. And remember, you can either call and leave a voice message or you can text. Either one works. And let us know your preference about sharing, whether with your name or anonymously. I really hope to engage in conversation with you this way. So please do call or text. That's 1-612-440-4819. So let me just give you some new phrases, some new things that you're going to hear me saying. And I also want you to imagine what it would be like if you were hearing these phrases around the field in nonprofits, in conversations with funders, with your colleagues, in the same way that you have been hearing these other phrases that I've just been modeling, right? I know we've all heard them. So imagine if instead of hearing things like that all the time, you were hearing things like this, okay? Because I believe with my whole being that fundraising doesn't have to be the way it is. So here's how I believe it could be. Are you ready? Fundraising is simply a community building process. Fundraising is gathering the true believers around a mission. Fundraising is a process of fundraisers connecting deeply with their own humanity and their own values, and then connecting deeply with others' humanity and values, and connecting those people to each other. Fundraising is direct and honest conversations. Fundraising is sharing passion. Fundraising is bringing love alive. Fundraising openly brings to light all of the gnarly dynamics of our society. Fundraising talks openly about power. Fundraising consciously shifts power. Fundraising creates solidarity between those who are suffering and those who can help them in this moment. Fundraising acknowledges that the helpers today may need help tomorrow, and it stays ready to shift the direction of help when needed. Fundraising is meaningful community work, just as much as program work is. Fundraising is mission work, rather than just supporting mission work. Fundraising deprioritizes money, realizing that if relationships are truly prioritized over money, and those relationships are honest and strong and healthy and transparent and communicative, your community will always be with you and your mission, and they will always show up for you when you need them in monetary ways or otherwise. Fundraising welcomes open conversations about our relationship to money, inviting donors into conversations about class, the definition of success, how to practice solidarity with others, how money intersects with meaning, how money can be truly life-giving, how money can be a powerful tool for good, how our personal money stories shape our relationship with money, and more. Fundraising is done by every kind of person, no matter their education, work experience, culture, or position. We stop treating fundraising like some sort of secret language, only available to you if you have the special password. Fundraising is values work. Fundraising is deeply human work. Fundraising is joyful. Fundraising is meaningful. Fundraising is fun. Fundraising changes the lives of everyone involved with it for the better. What else, friends? What else can you see in the vision of what fundraising could be? of how fundraising could feel so much better, could be so much more than a struggle or something that we try to avoid, but instead is something that is bringing us alive, connecting us joyfully in community with those around us, connecting deeply with ourselves. What else can you see? Call into our dedicated line for the podcast and leave your thoughts in a voice message. Or you can also text to the line too if you prefer to put your thoughts in writing. Another way to share your thoughts in writing is to comment under the podcast episode on the Substack page where it's posted at fortheloveofhumanity.community. I hope you join the conversation, friends. And if nothing else, I hope that the vision that I cast in this episode is inspiring to you. Let's start creating a new vision of fundraising together. Thanks for joining us today. Hopefully, you're left with some inspiration, some things to ponder, some topics that will spur further conversation between you and your friends and colleagues. If you'd like to engage in this conversation with the For the Love of Humanity podcast community, you can leave a message by texting or calling 1-612-440-4819. That's 1-612-440-4819. Be sure to indicate whether you're cool with your thoughts being shared on the air. Then, want to help us spread the word? Don't forget to follow and rate and review the pod wherever you get your podcasts. That'll help more people find us and help our community grow. Finally, visit the online community at fortheloveofhumanity.community and be sure to subscribe when you're there. Bye for now, friends.